Hi, so today we're going to calibrate a logo from a Cambodian graphic designer called Both Bou. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, so if I'm not, sorry for that. What happened was that he asked my opinion on that very piece, uh, and I looked at it and I thought it was simple and interesting enough for you guys to know what's involved with a calibrating job or a logo calibrating job. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's go for it.
Okay, so here we have our logo, the logo that Bot sent me. I really like this, or what I really like about this is that this geometric 70s vibe to it. So let's just do a quick analysis of what we have here and what we have to fix, and we'll move on to production. So on a first glance, the first thing that strikes me the most is that these descenders are way too big. Um, these two, I mean, and this is due to this alignment. You know, the uppermost part or the bowl of the G is actually aligned to the baseline, and since the second story or the lower story of the G is just off the circle or off the bowl, it creates a lot of descender. It creates a lot of space downwards, so this alignment to work, this one in particular, the descenders have to go down. But my feeling is that this should be around here, I guess. And for this to happen, this part here has to contract, so we can move this piece here up and thus gaining or retracting the descenders. Another thing is this tittle. It seems way too small for the composition. It actually seems smaller than the stem, so we have to overshoot it so we can optically compensate it. And this element here is repeated here and here. At the R terminal and the G ear. In the G, it's not as confusing to me as it is on the R. In the R, it just seems a little bit lost. So we'll be looking onto that. Another thing is that this looks like a true monoline. So this vertical width seems like the same to the this horizontal width seems the same as this vertical one, and which creates the optic illusion of the horizontal strokes actually being thicker than the vertical ones. So we have to compensate that also, and then we have to deal with these intersections. Here, this one, this one, this one, you know where I'm getting at. So we have to deal with that also. Another thing is that this composition is made of perfect circles, which seems like they're more close. Well, the feeling it gets, it's like these parts stick in, like they're bumpy inwards, and we have to fix that also. So let's move on to production then. We'll be using FontLab Studio 5, and we'll be using FontLab 6. The better version, because it has some tools that will help us out. So let's move on then. Okay, so here's our image in FontLab 6. We'll be using FontLab 6 for mostly for the curve corrections, the curve tension corrections. But what happens here, I just copy pasted the image so we know some of the metrics we're dealing with. So as for stem width, it's somewhere around 125 if we align the X height to the 500 mark. We're working in 1000 UPM. So let's go back to 5 and see. And let's start with the eye so we can have all these vertical metrics, well, the vertical stems going on. So as I said, it's 125, and this will be the base for our eye. And as for the title, we are just going to make a perfect circle here and then start compensating it. So let's make this bigger, like 10 points for each side, so it goes over the stem limits. But we're going to move on to FontLive 6 again, so we can have this title thing corrected. So the tool I'm searching for is this Unilines tool. It's a new tool in FontLab 6. Actually, you can get them in the contour. What is it? Tool. Where is it? Oh, okay. So it's this edit Unilines. The thing with the Unilines is that actually we can, with the Uniline, we can change the curve tension within, while preserving, these handles. But what we're looking for here is actually to change them all at the same time. So we'll just select them and let's get our tension going on here. And this is really nice for circles. Actually, this is really nice for any curve in particular. But this is nice for circles because in type design or visually appealing circles are not actually perfect circles. They're not geometrically perfect circles. So we should be doing something very close to this, actually. So it should be something like this. Okay, so let's copy this, go back to 5. And let's do some quick metrics. So we start then, so that we can start having a rhythm. One of the things in the image, in this image, actually, I think that this title is actually too close. Well, the letter forms are all too tight in general. But even the title, I think it's very close to the X side, so we'll just give it a little bit more room to see what we can come up with. Okay, so next we're going to the O's. I don't have any O here, but we can take care of that easily. Another mistake in this original file is that the as you can see, like the overshoot is way too shy. So we can overshoot this a little bit more. So let's stick with our 10 and see where we can go from there. Okay, and let's repeat the process. Let's just select the tuning lines and see what we can do about this. It looks sort of okay-ish. Maybe a little bit more tension. Another tool that I really like is this power nudge thing. The power nudge tries to keep the same relationship, or it actually goes to the other points around and tries to preserve the tension. So since I just want a little bit more, maybe not so much. It's somewhere around here, so okay, let's go back here. So we have that 125 width. So what am I going to do here is just go to outline, make parallel path, and we go to 125 horizontal. The problem here is that as I told you before, since it's a perfect monoline, the horizontal strokes, especially here in the G, look thicker than the vertical ones. So we'll have to compensate for that. Let's try 100. Try 110. See how we come up. It's not so bad at all, but now I'm starting to get the feeling again that we might need to compensate this further. So I still have power nudge on, so maybe it's around here. Let me let's see how this goes. So yeah, and for metrics, let me try and chop this a little bit more. So 30 one side, 30 another one. Now it looks too wide for me. Yeah, and then we'll be going like back and forth, trying to nudge a little bit and see how it works best. At the same time, like the tension here seems a little bit too shy, so I'm going for these four, sorry. I didn't select this one. Okay, alright, so a little bit more. If we double click, it tries to see like the average placement, and now I get the feeling that we also need this for the outside. Okay, see how it goes. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, the inside now seems a little bit too I think it deserves a little bit less tension now. So okay, here we have it, and now the outside just needs a little bit less too. So basically the idea here is to fight the letter forms until they feel right. And here there's no math shortcut for it. You just have to go by gut and train eye and see what you can come up with. So here we have our O, and probably we don't need this O anymore. Actually we do, for a very simple reason. We didn't compensate this distance, so we're going to do it now. The idea is to keep your eye here to see where does it feel like this is the same, width. And again, you go by feeling. Yeah, it should be somewhere around here. So I think we're getting close. And now again, since we did this compensation, this might feel a little bit too squarish, this squircle. I don't remember who actually got with the squircle definition, but maybe I never knew. Okay, so a small change, and okay, let's get back. Actually, I could do this all the way through in FrontLab 6, but hey, I'm not doing that today. Okay, so let's move on to the next clips. Oh, and by the way, this was like 30-30, yeah. Okay. So we can have some sense of rhythm around here. And now let's move on to, let's go to the A, because we can actually grab this guy and see what we can do with the A. Alright, so what would be nice here would be, okay, so the counter of the A should go actually in this alignment. But this is way too big and it creates a lot of mass here, this intersection, so we're just going to scale it and see how it goes, and if we need further adjusting, we will do so. So let's go around here. Maybe it's starting to look too cute, but I'll just open this up so I can see the counter properly. We're getting there. It needs to be a little bit bigger. Okay, somewhere around here, maybe. That's pretty close. Okay, let's go back to 6. And A, where's our A? Okay. So now, see how this looks from a distance. Maybe this bit is too squarish, or this has to go inward. Yeah, with some kind of compromise here, and still we need to adjust these two. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Maybe we need to adjust these two just a little bit. Well, not so bad. And I don't know if the speed here should be a thing. Maybe. Oh, but only if this guy grows. Yeah, and then we adjust the speed of the curve. And this goes a little bit inward, so we can, the idea here is that we reduce this intersection and still preserve this like triangular counter shape for the character to be recognizable. So I think we have a satisfactory result, not a perfect one, but something's going on. So let's go back to 5. Okay, and where we have our A. So metrics 30 and 50, because it's actually it's the same distance for the eye, but we have that compensation in the title, so it's reading the metrics on the other side. So 30, 50, and then we can move on to our Q. It should be something like this. Oh, it's not with the C, it's with the Q. Okay. Somewhere around here, maybe. Yeah. And we can also move to our P. We just have to switch the metrics up. Okay, I think we're getting closer. The title still seems a little bit dwarfed, at least looking at this image here. It's nice to actually look at it small so we know what's going on. Yeah, still a bit dwarfed. Let's just crank it up a notch. And maybe up a little bit more, since now we have those descenders. we should look at them also. Let's move on to the R. So what we had in the R was something like this. Oh, hold on. Something like this. And it's in here, for example, comparing to the I, it's too shy. So let's make it a little bit bigger as a terminal. Maybe not so big. Let's look at it. Yeah, seems okay. Just let me roll 1, 2, 3. Maybe a little bit more room. Well, the version we had was really tight, and the tightness of the kerning here will actually dictate what's going on here. So we might have to get back at this. And you shouldn't do this, but I'm doing it anyway because it's just the two letter pairs would be R and A, and it's never going to change it. So I'm just going to do some negative current to it, which would actually do not work if you have like R repetitions and yeah, you get the drill. Okay, so now it's time for our G, and this is the reason why I started with Yo, because I know that I knew that at some point I would have to be dealing with this. So for the G, we will have these two elements. Oh, sorry. And this guy goes away. Since this guy goes away, the trick here is that we actually have to align the baseline of the Q to the one of the G, and I'm going to do it already so we know how much we have to compensate it in the G. Also in the G, like if you look at the O, it's sort of more condensed than actually wide. But in the G, in the G's ball, we can actually go the other way around it. So let's get back to 5, and yeah, so this element needs to go up. For some reason, what happened? Oh, okay. Okay, fix it. So this needs to go up by a lot, and so we'll have to close this shape a little bit more also. Maybe widening that much is not such a good idea, but this doesn't have to be that big also, and we can lie a little bit more. Type design is about lying. So all of a sudden this seems heavier than, like, the topmost part seems heavier than the bottommost, and it's sort of squarish. So first of all, I'm just going to balance these guys, and now I'm going to select them, and up and close it a little bit more so it looks rounder. It's not that bad. And do the same for the outline. The reason I'm not doing them at the same time is because they might need different tensions. So, oh, whoa, hold on. They might need different tensions, so I prefer to do them in parts. And one of the things that I'm not doing here, and that you should, is actually printing your logos at the sizes you want them to be working in. So this is kind of risque, but well, it's for demonstration purposes. Okay, so just let us line up these guys somewhere around here. I think that I might have overdone this. So let's get, yeah, might did. So okay, okay, but let me get the R, and we'll do it here in 6, in FrontLab 6. So let me get the R. There you go. Let me get the P. We have the A, we have the G, and we got the P, right? No. Oh, yes. Okay. So where are we? Where is it? Okay. So let's get the. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's go for the B and for the Q. Oh, I cannot edit the Q from here, so I'm going to do this. Alright, then this lines up. Oh, too much. This lines up here. Okay, we can. Well, whatever then. B. Oh, right. So I have to mirror this, and this has also to go downward to your 500 mark. Okay, so we're near what we want. So let me recheck the metrics. So in your case, what? I'm on the metrics panel, right? Oh, okay. So here should be 30, here should be 50. Here should be 50, 30. Here the other way around should be 30, 50. You, sir, you go like 40, 40. This guy was around 50 and 4, but yeah, we can go less than this. Well, we're close. So, and let me get the G, like the aligned version. Okay. Okay, so fix all. This needs to go down. This opens. This opens. And this has to close. Maybe a little bit more. Which can help us grow this a little bit inward. And this. Now the R. This guy seems way too big for me. So, oh, hold on. Oh, let me get this back. Hello. Oh, still with the tool selected. So let's get back to this, and yeah, and oh, you're not supposed to be selected. Oh, wrong tool. Okay. Actually, I can just power nudge the guy. Okay. Let's get back to the G. Now the G looks a little bit too wide. Okay, and still we have to align these to here. And okay, and now let's deal with the tensions. And let's select this. It looks a little bit pinched in, so let's get this a little bit outward. Maybe a little bit more. And yeah, looks all right. It looks all right. Still, this is probably way too wide. And this goes outward too. Because what's happening here is, since we have a more complicated form with a lot more black mass, we still have to compensate for that mass we are creating, that extra mass. Then, so that's what we are doing right now. Well, sorry, little guy. Maybe this is too much. Okay, let me get this guy, because it comes in handy. I might have to look on where it was, and I just took it off. This can be closer, way closer. I'm looking at this area and this area for some kind of relationship, formal relationship. And this can go back. We might want to play a game here of forms, which will oblige us to tighten this a little bit more. And let's see what we can do now. We're going for 40, 30, which we have to tighten this. But actually, let me get this to prepare so I know. Well, it's nice, looks nice. So 20 for you too, also, mister. Okay, and it seems like we're closer. Still, I also feel the need of making these a little bit bigger. And they're not aligned. These are actually bigger than this one. But yeah, I think it looks alright. Let me see how this would work. Yeah, I'll have to thicken this one. Just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to deal with these shapes. FontLab 6 has this really nice feature. Just going to collapse these, and actually when you can have the smart corners thing going on, and I'll use them because they're sort of a novelty. So let's make this not a genius. Where's the smart corners? Add smart corner. Yes. And we can, and we can sort of, well, let's see what happens here. Maybe this is way too much. Maybe this is way too much, but nah, I'm going to do this by hand. Okay, let's get back to 5, to our A. Okay, and what am I going to do is I'm going to manually pinch this up and try to come up with a nice curvature. Should be something around here. Or I'll just copy this to a mask and delete this guy. Just try to see the best way I can do this, like the smoothest way. Okay, and I'm just going to split this in half so I can duplicate the shapes. Okay, let's go closer. Yeah. Okay, looks nice. Let me get back to this. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was working here, so maybe it's too sudden than acceleration. It would work better to smaller sizes, but for here and now, this is perfectly enough. So this aligns here. Hello, here, and user will align here. Okay, so metrics, just to confirm, 30-30, 30-30. Why is this 30-30? 30-40. So it should be 40. This 40. Okay, looks good. Maybe this guy can get a little bit up. And it can be reduced, actually. And so we can isolate this form. And it can go inward also. Okay, let's go back to 5, because, well, I don't need to, but actually let's go back to 6. I think it's enough to do it here, or in here. I shall take a little bit less of the metrics so I can get the sense of the rhythm here. And yes, this now looks too on the right side, So compensating for that. Maybe it's a little bit more room up. Okay. I don't know if just tilting this to this side would help. Yeah, I guess it helps a little bit. And the eye maybe a little bit less to you, sir. Yeah, I think we're close. We're pretty close. Maybe the R can go a little bit in. So this is it. There we have it. So I hope you guys have learned something valuable, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have fun.